Well, hello and welcome back to Love Talks. I am your host, Ina Love. Um, and I just want to say that I feel like the segment always starts a little weird in the beginning every week because I log in through Zoom and then I connect on Facebook, and I'm never exactly sure when the connection happens. So bear with me, like I'm figuring it out. So, anyways, I really thank you guys for being here today. This is our ninth Love Talk segment, believe it or not. Today, our topic is love of the planet. And I think it's really beautiful in the midst of everything that's happening that we are taking a moment just to be thankful to our planet. So, as always, I always like to begin with a little bit of a recap just for any newcomers, and it also gives everyone a moment to connect with us. So, again, thank you all for being here. Um, the first 5 Love Talk segments that I did was on a series that I called Healing the Heart. And then 4 weeks ago, we started a new series on love in relationships. So today is our 4th segment in the Love in Relationship series. And obviously today we'll be talking about the relationship that we have with the planet. So again, I really think it's beautiful, that we are taking this time just to acknowledge the planet, because no matter what is going on in our lives and in the world, Mother Earth continues to provide for us. The planet doesn't get an off day. There is no downtime. And we really need to just be aware of how much the planet is doing for us. So that's really what we're going to dive in today. It's just kind of taking a little glimpse at, how blessed we are and how much we have to be thankful for. Because I think often we get so caught up in our own lives and the things that we're going through that we actually, don't necessarily take the time to smell the roses, as they say. So today, we're really going to, just dive into some of that. Let's see. I'm going to start with a little story, because I often say that it's so important that we develop a relationship with God. And especially, with everything that's going on in the world right now, I personally don't know what I would do without God right now. So I think we are all really leaning on our faith right now. So I want to share a beautiful story that demonstrates not only the power of believing in God, but also the beauty of our planet. So I'm going to share a little story about this happened about 4 years ago. Actually, yeah, 4 years ago, when I went on my the trip around the world that I talked about in one of the previous segments. There were, several stops along the way in this 40-day journey around the world. And the very first stop was in Cancun, Mexico. I went there to go scuba diving. I've never gone scuba diving in my life, but I was doing this for my book because there's actually an underground museum in the ocean in Cancun. So I went there. The plan was to have a scuba diving lesson, and then I was going to scuba dive at this site at the bottom of the ocean. So I chartered a boat to take me out, and someone to teach me to scuba dive, and it was a whole plan in motion. So I go to this place, and they put me in a swimming pool. And mind you, in other countries, they do things very differently. In the States, I think it takes at least 8 hours to be certified to scuba dive. But they put me in a swimming pool, and literally I had about a 20-minute scuba diving lesson. And I don't know what I thought was going to happen, but after these 20 minutes, they put me on a boat and we go out into the ocean for maybe an hour or so. And along the way, I was talking to the scuba dive instructor, and I was telling him all about what we were doing, that the photographer who was with me, that we were going on a trip around the world, that I was publishing a book, and I was going to use images from all around the world to illustrate my book. I told him that my father had recently passed away, and I made a promise to my father. And, I just kind of told him the whole story. So, like I said, after an hour or so, we stop in the middle of the ocean, and the instructor calls me over, and he starts putting all this gear and equipment on me. And I'm like, "What are we doing?" And he said, "It's time for your scuba dive." And I was like, "What?" Because honestly, I don't know what I thought. I think I was just so innocently going along with everything. And I really don't know what I thought was happening, but clearly when we got on that boat, something was happening. So he's putting all this gear on me, and he's like, "It's time for your scuba dive." And I was like, "You're kidding, right? Like, I have to practice. Like, you just showed me what to do." And I'm like, "You expect me to practice at the bottom of the ocean? I had a little 20-minute lesson. Like, no, I'm not ready for this." So the conversation was just escalating because this man was really trying to convince me, that I could do this. And I'm like, "No, I'm not comfortable with this. Like, no, I'm not doing it. You have to take me back. Like, cancel all of this. I'm not doing it." And I kept saying no to him. And like I said, our voices were escalating, and we practically got to a point where we were like shouting at each other, because he was like, "Ina, you just told me about your father, and you were doing this for your dad, and you're going on this trip around the world." And, it was just like intense. And I'm like, "No, I'm not doing this. I don't feel comfortable. This is not safe. This is not right. I'm not prepared." So I'm yelling at this man, "Take me back. I'm not doing this. I want to go back." And he says, "Ina," like he's telling me to stop it, stop it, stop it. Like, "No, you're going to do this." And I'm like, "No, I'm not." So finally he goes, "Do you know what my name is?" And I said, "I really don't care about your name right now. I want to go back." He's like, "My name is Emmanuel." I said, "Okay, Emmanuel, I'm ready to go back. Turn this boat around, take me back." He's like, "Do you know what Emmanuel means?" I said, "Right now, I really don't care. I want you to turn this boat around and take me back." And he goes, and we're yelling at each other. He goes, "Emmanuel means God is with us." And I swear on everything, when that man said that, all of the fear just melted away. I truly felt as if my faith was being tested in that moment. And because I believe in God so deeply, like, I know God. And I just looked at him and I said, "Wow, Emmanuel, wow." And I jumped. I jumped in the water. I swam to the back of the boat. There was a rope that you use to pull yourself to the bottom. And as I'm pulling myself down and just praying, like I was concentrating so deeply, like, "Okay, I can do this. Just remember what they told me." Like, I'm just, trying. I was so focused and concentrated on trying to remember what to do. And granted, I'm a swimmer. I love the water, but I've never scuba dived in my life. So I'm pulling myself down to the bottom. And finally, my feet touched the ocean floor. And I was no longer concentrated on everything that I had to do. And the moment I touched down, it was like everything came real. And I swear to you, this wave of fear came over me. And I remember just standing there holding onto that rope for life. And the only thing I was moving was my eyes. Like, I'm just looking around like, "Oh my God, I'm at the bottom of the ocean." And I was really starting to freak out. And everything was happening so quickly. And just as I was like, "Oh God, I don't know what to do next," Emmanuel shows up again, and he just snatched the rope out of my hand, and he motions like, "Come on, let's go." And I'm thinking like, "Okay, I'm here now. I have to do this." So I start to like move my arms, and I'm trying to like swim, and I swear this fear was just on me. And I remember in a split second, I said, "Ina, you can panic, and this is going to go really bad, or you can just let go and trust God, which is the reason you jumped in this water, and just enjoy it. And like I said, it was just like an instantaneous thought. And I said, I have to let go. And the moment I let go, I started just, it was like everything transformed. And I saw the beauty of the ocean. And it became this magical experience. But I share this story because we really have to get to a place in our lives where we trust God completely. Because clearly, as I said, when we look at what's happening in the world right now, none of us know what's coming, what's going to happen. We're all just going day to day. I'm going through a lot. I know we're all going through a lot. We're trying to figure things out. It's so confusing, but just remember that God is with us. So that's the reason I really wanted to share this story today. And as I said, we're also talking about the planet, who does and provides so much for us. And it was an absolutely magical experience. It was absolutely magical. And at one point during the dive, I remember thinking that I wanted to find a little shell or something, to have as a little keepsake. I wanted to remember this experience. So I started swimming around, literally looking for a little seashell. Well, believe it or not, I couldn't find one. Like, you would think they would be everywhere, but they were not. But finally, I found one. I found like a little half shell. And I was so excited, and I held it in my hand and I thought, wow, I'm not sure if this is mine to take. I was looking for the shell, but then when I found it, I wasn't sure if I should take it or not because, well, anyways. So I said a little prayer. I said a prayer for the ocean, just to bless and thank the water, to thank the ocean for all that she provides for us. And I put the shell back. And just as that happened, I guess Emmanuel was still watching me, because he came along and put a little shell in my hand right in that moment. And I actually wanted to show you the shell. So this is the little shell that Emmanuel gave to me that day. And it's very special because it was literally placed in my hand on the ocean floor. So Emmanuel was actually like a little godsend that day, because honestly, had he not pushed me to do that, to jump, I never would have had that amazing experience. So again, I wanted to share that because really, truly work to develop your relationship with God. We all need that right now. And believe me, we're all going to get through this experience. We're just going to take things one day at a time, stay close to God, as I say all the time. And that means anytime, if you start to worry or have fear or, whatever emotions are coming up for you, just remember God is with us. So I hope that helps just a little bit. Also, beyond all the obvious things of the earth, like all the beauty of the earth, because I've had the incredible opportunity to go around the world, I've seen some of the most incredible places. Like, the world is truly a magnificent and beautiful place. But, beyond those things, the earth does so much for us. Not only does she provide everything that we obviously have to eat, but everything, absolutely everything you see, have, use, everything comes from the earth. Like, have you ever even thought about that? Like, literally, everything that you see on the planet comes from the earth. All things are of the earth. And that is really magnificent when you think about, how incredible the planet is. That, even a building, that could not be without all of the things, every material that is harvested from something of the earth. So the earth is truly a magnificent being. I think everything is alive because everything is of God. God created everything. God is everything. So everything has consciousness, everything has energy, everything is truly alive. So, again, just as you go through your days, really think about like how blessed we are, truly blessed, because we have so much to be thankful for, even in the midst of all the everything that's happening. And there's so many things that are happening. Like, I don't even want to talk about any of those things. I just really want us to think about, again, how blessed we truly are. And there's still so much to be thankful for. So let's be conscious of that. And as I shared in the segment last week, talking about conscious living and how our actions and the choices we make in life, they have they have the potential to not only impact our own lives, but the people around us, and potentially even the world. So conscious living also involves being conscious of the things we do and how they impact the planet. Our planet is truly in need of help right now. There's so much going on. Every year we encounter, the natural disasters and all the things that are happening. And it is my own personal belief, and some of you may agree with this, some of you may not, but I really believe a lot of what is happening on the planet is the result of not only our actions, things that negatively impact the planet, but also all of the negative energy that is swirling on the planet. So I really want us to be conscious of the things that we're doing. Send love to the planet. Say prayers for the planet. We really have to consider that the earth is our life source. And we really need to be thankful, pray for the planet, do our part. And as I always say, we are all individually responsible. We don't have control of what anyone else chooses to do. But if we all do our part, again, every little thing helps. Everything makes a difference. So if we are living consciously and, being conscious of all the little things that we can do to help to sustain our planet. Because, as I said, the planet does so much. Something that you may not even be aware of that is a beautiful and powerful thing that I want to share right now, and it will hopefully come in handy for you, because I think we all need little tips and techniques and things that we can do to try and get through this time. The planet will actually take on your, for lack of a better word, I'm going to say negative energy. As I said, we're all dealing with so much, and sometimes, we may be feeling confusion or fear or maybe anxiety, frustration, like so many things that we're all dealing with right now. The planet will actually help you. And there are many things that you can do. I'm going to share several things that you can do, but here's one that is really powerful and what I put at the top of the list. If you actually remove your shoes and just go outside and walk in the grass and connect with the earth, literally, if you do this with intention, and that means focusing your thoughts and your intention on releasing that energy to the earth, she will actually take it. The planet will actually absorb that negative energy, which will help you to feel better. Say for instance, if you've had an argument with someone, or you just had a rough day or whatever, just take a walk in the grass and you will be surprised how much better you feel. I know a lot of us, you take walks every day and you're just walking without being conscious of what is around. And I mean, like when you're out walking, really take a look around and see all the beauty of the earth. There's so much beauty all around us. Just take a stroll through your neighborhood and really look around. Take in like all the flowers that are growing, the trees, like there's so much beauty around. And, if you're focused on something that's beautiful, you're not going to be as focused on, the things that are not so pleasant. So, take walks with intention. Also, tree huggers. We've all heard of tree huggers, and many people laugh at tree huggers. But actually, hugging a tree is so beautiful and healing and cleansing. You can literally go and hug a tree and just receive the love. Again, everything is alive. God is alive in everything, every single thing. So, if you need someone to hug, like we're all being told to social distance right now, go and hug a tree. You would be surprised how beautiful and powerful of an experience that can be. Also, flowers. Flowers are also will absorb negative energy. So, how having flowers in your home is so, it always is so bright and cheerful. Well, part of the reasons why flowers bring so much joy into the home is because they actually absorb negative energy. So having flowers around can also, just little things that will assist. Also, if you live near water, the ocean is so powerful and healing. If you have the courage, and I know a lot of people are afraid of water, but really work to overcome your fear of water, because I can't even tell you how powerful and healing the ocean is. And again, even if you don't have the courage to go out and swim, just walk, put your feet in the water, or as far as you are comfortable going. But again, the ocean will absorb and heal, and help you to, it's actually called decharging, when you are decharging the negative energy. So these are, again, just some really powerful tips that could help us to move that energy that we're feeling right now in the midst of everything that's going on. Also, we need to be conscious of conserving our resources. And I really wanted to share some of this because, these are things that we all know. As I said, I think last week I mentioned that, there are so many things that we're all aware of, but are we actually putting these things into practice? So, again, we each have a responsibility to do our part to care for our planet. And if each one of us, or all who are willing, if we all do our part collectively, that is huge. That really makes a difference. So do your part. And some of the things that we can do, obviously, recycling. If you recycle, thank you. Sincerely, thank you. You're doing these things that help the planet. If you don't recycle, please start to recycle. Like I said, everything helps. Every little thing helps. So take the time, even if you just say, okay, I'm going to recycle plastics or whatever it is. Start to really think about how beneficial that is for our planet, for you to contribute that. So excuse me. Okay, so recycling, also reusing. There are so many things that we can reuse. And honestly, I used to think of that as being very frugal, like to reuse things. I admit it, but I actually now that I'm conscious of this, I try to reuse everything that I possibly can. I mean, not only could it potentially save money, but really think about what it does for the planet. So please seriously consider recycling and reusing. Conserving water. That's another huge thing that we can do for the planet. I've seen people who waste so much water, but if we're all just conscious of how much water we use, I know that like right now we're all having to wash our hands a lot, but maybe not leave the water running while you're washing your hands. Hopefully we're actually washing our hands a lot more often and a lot better than perhaps we used to. But maybe not let the water run the entire time that you're washing your hands. Try to take shorter showers, or and actually, I don't know if you realize this, but taking a bath actually uses less water than a shower. So again, these are all little things that we can do. And if we're all just doing our little part, again, collectively, it makes a huge difference. Also, air quality. Just yesterday, and I'm just sharing this as a little example, the mailman put a letter in my mailbox that didn't belong to me. And that happened several weeks ago. But when I checked the address, I saw that it was just a few blocks away. So rather than hopping in my car to drop off this letter, I walked. It's a little thing, but again, every little thing makes a difference. If you can, if there are places you can walk to, get out and enjoy nature and take some walks and, again, take in the beauty. But all of these things help. If you are going out, really be conscious. Think about maybe you could do several things in one day versus, running here and running there. Because again, all of this will help with air quality. So just sharing some ideas of things that we can do to help. Also, and this is something that a lot of people are not aware of, but I actually became a vegetarian 10 years ago. And obviously you wouldn't know that, but that's not the part I meant. But one of the reasons I became a vegetarian is because I watched a movie about I think it was food, well, I watched a movie about the food processing industry. And one of the things that I learned is that through the processing of animals, meaning, like when the farmers are caring for animals, and the entire process of producing meat puts more toxins in the atmosphere than vehicles. So that wasn't the only reason. I had a plethora of reasons why I stopped eating meat. But, again, something to be conscious of. So even if you choose to help the planet by not eating meat one day a week, again, that's potentially less animals that are being processed. Again, every little thing helps. During the daytime, I really try and a practice of conserving electricity. I try to go through my day without turning the lights on. I use the natural light. So sometimes we need light, obviously, and of course at night, but it's really kind of a beautiful thing if you try it. Like, natural light is very soft, it's calming. And I mean, truly, there is sufficient light during the daytime. So just, little things of that nature. And again, every little thing helps. So the point being, just to be conscious of all the little things that we can do to help conserve. We have to think, or start to really think beyond ourselves and our lifetimes. Our children are the next generation, and our, and future generations. So again, everything that we do contributes to the whole. So just, really just throughout your week, start to think about little things that you can do to assist with healing our planet, conserving our resources, and things of that nature. So I'm going to share another story. This is another beautiful experience that I had about 4 years ago. And I want to say it was maybe the very first Love Talk, I shared some of the experiences that I've had as I went on my own personal healing journey several years ago. But one of the things that I've done, and many of you may not have ever heard about this, but I'm going to share this just because I think it's something that personally, I think it's something that every person on the planet should have this experience if you are able and willing. About 5 years ago, I had the opportunity to sit in a sacred ceremony with a Native American shaman. And the experience is called an ayahuasca journey. Ayahuasca is a sacred plant medicine. It is a root, I believe it's a root, or actually a vine because it grows above ground. But they actually harvest this vine, and the shamans prepare this medicine for about 4 days. They literally have to stay awake for 4 days preparing this medicine for the ceremony. I was in the Amazons in Colombia, and it was a small group of people, and we sat with the shaman. They do, it's like a very ritualistic type of experience, but absolutely beautiful, like so beautiful. I have been hearing about ayahuasca for many years, and honestly, I was very afraid of it when I first heard about it, but I kept hearing about it. And I have always lived my life that if something keeps showing up, if like I keep encountering the same person, or if I keep hearing about something, there's something there. So I've been hearing about ayahuasca for several years. And then I found myself in Colombia, and the opportunity presented itself. I was invited to sit in a sacred ceremony. And I thought, wow, okay, I think I'm supposed to do this. So we went to this location, and I do want to say before I share with you this experience, and I'm sharing this because I had a beautiful, beautiful connection to the earth in this experience. So that's the reason I'm sharing it. But I do want to say, if this is something that you should ever look into or explore the possibility, there are so many people who are not true native shamans who are leading these type of ceremonies. But it is very, very important that should you ever seek something like this for yourself, that you find a real Native American shaman, because some people have very, very deep experiences, and the shaman is actually there to guide you through the experience. These people are very, very connected to spirit, and spirit is communicating with them. So they actually know what you're going through. And if you need help in your journey, they are there to assist you. So I just wanted to add that. But anyway, so we sat in the ceremony, the shaman said prayers for us. And then you drink this medicine, which it looks like coffee, but it's much thicker. And honestly, when I tell you, it was the most disgusting thing I have ever put in my mouth. If you are able to swallow, and some people can't, but if you're able to swallow it, it is a truly magical experience. The ceremony, or the journey, actually, you drink the medicine like around sunset, and you basically journey all through the night. And by the time the sun comes up, you are like a new person. And I call the medicine liquid truth because the ayahuasca medicine is actually, it gives you what's like a bird's eye view of your life. If you can imagine if you were literally a bird and flying over your life and you are able to see everything that's happening in your life. Like you can see, like I was shown things like, wow, that I shouldn't do that. Like, no, that's not going to work. I mean, it was like so much clarity about things that were happening in my life. And it was so powerful and a very transformational experience. I've actually done about 12 ayahuasca journeys now, which I'm very proud of that because, you know, it is very deep spiritual work. The medicine really shows you a lot of things about yourself, about what's going on in your life. And it's really powerful. It's incredible. But as I said, I had an opportunity you don't know what the medicine is going to show you. But in my very first ayahuasca journey, I saw a lot of things that are happening to the planet, like, you know, just a lot of the destructive things that are happening to the planet. And I remember that I cried so deeply. Like I had probably one of the deepest cries that I've ever had in my life. And I just remember crying, and I was literally talking to Mother Earth. And I was just saying to her, like, please, please forgive us. Forgive us for all the harmful things that we have done to the planet. Like, I was literally talking to Mother Earth. And I felt this connection to the planet that I can't even explain to you, but it was so deep and beautiful. Another part of the ayahuasca journey is called purging, which most people do. And it is actually a release where you're actually healing things. You're healing, you know, experiences that you've been through in your life. Like you can heal so many things in an ayahuasca journey. But because I was actually connected to the planet, I actually purged for the planet. Like it was so deep and powerful. It was just an incredible, incredible experience. You hear a lot of messages, like in addition to seeing visions, you hear messages. And just for instance, some of the messages that I heard, the medicine told me that ayahuasca is the fruit of the vine. And I know that we have all been taught in the Bible that wine is the fruit of the vine, but the medicine told me that ayahuasca is the fruit of the vine. And I wholeheartedly believe that. You know, I call this medicine liquid truth. And everything that the medicine has ever shared with me, I have taken to heart and I believe it. I was also told that, forgive me, I just lost my thought. Okay. That love is our religion. And we are here to worship love. And again, I really thought about this and I believe it wholeheartedly, because if you think about it, God is love. If we are here to worship God, then we are here to worship love. And all of my life, literally, as long as I can remember, I have always believed in love. Like, love has always mattered to me so much. And I don't know, it's like I'm almost as if I'm infatuated with love. And when the medicine said that to me, it was sort of like a confirmation that we are here to worship love. God is love. So if we worship God, we should worship love. So I've actually, just again, one of the things that I really took to heart. So I'm sharing this experience with you again because I had this beautiful opportunity to connect with the planet. It was so powerful and a really deep experience that I'll always remember all of my ayahuasca journeys. But I wanted to also share something really incredible that happened after my journey. So the very next day, as I said, when the sun comes up, everyone is, you're basically, your journey is complete. And the shaman does like a little closing ceremony. And then we all kind of sat around talking. And the shaman was aware of all the work that I had done in my journey for the planet. That I connected with the earth, and, he knew, like, he absolutely knew what I had gone through and the work that I had done for the planet. And spirit communicated to him to make a crown for me. Like, I was literally granted a crown for the healing work that I had done for the planet. I didn't even know this was possible. Like, this was my very first ayahuasca journey. And I know many, many people who have sat in ayahuasca ceremonies. I don't know of anyone who has ever been crowned. And in fact, I know one person who has done like an incredible amount of ceremonies. And he was actually there in my first ceremony. And he was just absolutely blown away that I was crowned. And there was actually a crown was made for me. And they held a little crowning ceremony, like maybe I believe it was about 2 days after the actual ayahuasca journey. And I actually want to show you my crown because I'm very proud of this. Like, this is really an honor. Like, they don't just give these crowns away. So this is the actual crown that was made for me after my ayahuasca journey. And again, this was in gratitude for the healing work that I did for the planet in my ceremony. So I wanted to share that. Okay, so let's see, checking our time here. Today, I'm going to share a poem, as I always do, but the poem that I'm going to be sharing is one of my absolute favorite poems. And it's perfect for today, for the discussion that we're having today. But I'm going to do something a little different because there is so much information in this poem that I actually want to, like, after I share it, I'm going to actually sort of dissect this poem, if you will. We're going to kind of go through and I want to really dive into some of the meaning behind this poem because it's really beautiful. So I think I wrote this poem about 4 years ago. I was actually in Colombia, which I've spent a lot of time there because one of my very dear friends lives in Colombia. And he was the one who introduced me to ayahuasca and, many of the incredible experiences that I've had. But we were hiking in the mountains of Colombia. And Colombia is absolutely breathtaking. Like, I can't even tell you how beautiful this country is. But we were hiking in the mountains one day, and we were actually going to a specific location. He found like this little, what he called this little secret area in the mountains. It has a little waterfall and like this little magical place. And obviously, it was my first time ever going there. But we were just hiking in the mountains and I was just looking around and I was so in awe of the beauty, like absolutely in awe. And after this hike, I wanted to write a poem about this experience to remember it. So I wrote this poem. It's titled Forever Green. And the poem begins with me describing this beautiful experience, but then like this beautiful message starts to fold into the poem. So I'm going to share it. And then, as I said, I want to, share a little more about that. Each footstep draws me nearer to a sight of eyes unseen, a mystery in motion through paths of evergreen. Intention leads the way, the place suspends in time, Thoughts succumb, surrender, the experience sublime. The pathway crackles underfoot, leaves shimmer in the trees. The sky echoes a whisper, spirit soars within the breeze. Heartbeats pierce the silence, anticipation grows. Angst falls prey to wonder, the universe knows. Believe in possibility, with faith we pass the test. Peace so warm and tender, when troubled acquiesce. Align with thy own destiny, perfection in its midst. Life, the path unfolding, competes with true love's kiss. Conquer the fallen trees, enter a world of glory. Victor on wings of faith completes the untold story. Through paths of evergreen, see far beyond tomorrow. Embrace thy soul perfection, no pain from which to borrow. The enchantment of the forest guides me, ever peaceful, still, awake in sweet surrender as destiny reveals. Shine in brightest days. Truth, alas, is seen. Moment by precious moment shall be forever green. So that is Forever Green. And again, I'm just going to go through this really quickly because there's so much really deep, rich information here. So each footstep draws me nearer. And obviously, you know, we're on this path to our destination, to a sight of eyes unseen. I've never been to this place before, so my eyes have never laid, you know, I've never set my sights on this place. I've never been there. It's a mystery in motion through paths of evergreen. You know, we're hiking in the mountains, in the like a forest. Intention leads the way. Our intention was to go to this sacred site. I mean, well, I shouldn't say a sacred site, but this little secret site that he found in the mountains. The place suspends in time. So I don't know exactly where we're going, but in time we'll get there. You know, the place suspends in time. I love that. Thoughts succumb, surrender. My thoughts are succumbed by the surrender of the experience sublime. It was a sublime experience. The pathway crackles underfoot, leaves shimmer in the trees. The sky echoes a whisper. It was like, literally, I felt like the universe was speaking to me in this beautiful, powerful experience. Spirit soars within the breeze. Like my spirit, my soul was just so happy. Heartbeats pierced the silence. Like I was so excited and thrilled about this. Like I could literally my heart was just beating, like just the anticipation of this incredible experience. And anticipation grows. Angst falls prey to wonder. I love that line because, you know, here I was like so anxious and excited about this experience, but angst falls prey to wonder. So all that angst and anxiety was just overcome by the wonder of this magical experience. And the universe knows, as I always say, the universe is all knowing. Believe in possibility. Believe in possibility. Everything is possible. With faith, we pass the test. Have faith and believe. You know, in life, we truly are tested, but we have to have faith. Hold on and believe. Peace, so warm and tender. You know, peace is a beautiful thing. When troubled, acquiesce. And that means just, you know, whenever something is troubling you, just let go. Let God, trust it, surrender. When troubled, acquiesce, you know, just trust that it's going to work out. Align with thy own destiny. That's a really deep one. You know, and that just truly requires a lot of intention to really fulfill your purpose in life. You know, you have to really want that. I think we all have dreams, and you have to work to that, you know, align with your destiny. Perfection in its midst. Life, the path unfolding, competes with true love's kiss. And I truly believe that with all my heart, that those of us who find true love in life, and you know, I would have to say, well, I'm going to leave that alone. But life, the path unfolding, competes with true love's kiss. So just give that some thought. Conquer the fallen trees. And this was sort of a metaphor because, you know, we were having to like cross over trees that had fallen, you know, to get to this place. But this for me represents like all the hurdles in life, all the obstacles that we face. Conquer the fallen trees. Enter a world of glory. The victor on wings of faith. So with faith, you know, we can get through anything. The victor on wings of faith completes the untold story. You know, in life, the things that we go through become our testimony. So, you know, we all have a story to tell. You know, we all have something to share. We learn from one another's experiences. So, yes, we all have a story. Through paths of evergreen, see far beyond tomorrow. You know, right now, that's a little tricky because, you know, we're all focused on trying to get through, you know, day to day right now. But, you know, we have to look ahead and, you know, see far beyond tomorrow. Embrace thy soul perfection. That means simply be the best that you can be. You know, there is a perfect soul that lives at the heart of each and every one of us. Embrace your soul perfection. No pain from which to borrow. And as I've said before, you know, we've all been through things in life. Pain is always available, pain is always an option. But when you're truly living in perfection, you know, when you have aligned with your purpose, when, you know, you really, you know, get in what I call that sweet spot in life, you know, there's no need for the pain. We can just, you know, live in joy and harmony as we are meant to. The enchantment of the forest guides me, ever peaceful, still. Like that experience was so powerful that I can still go back and draw from that experience. Awake in sweet surrender. I love that line as well because, you know, I'm living my life and trusting in God wholeheartedly. So, you know, I've surrendered to God's purpose and I'm awake and trusting and doing my part, which is, you know, that's what I always say. Like we each have a role to play, a part to play. We all have to do our best in life. Awake in sweet surrender as destiny reveals. Shine in brightest days. You know, that just means like when, you know, on the most brightest, most beautiful day, no matter what, shine your light, shine in brightest days. Truth, alas, is seen, and moment by precious moment shall be forever green. So thank you all for allowing me to, you know, kind of break that down for you. So I want to announce our winner of the book drawing last week. The winner is actually my cousin, Lisa Polar, which is my maiden name, Lisa Polar Langster. So congratulations, Lisa. She's actually my double first cousin because our mothers are sisters and our fathers are brothers. So that's pretty unusual. And she and I are about a month apart in age. We both just hit our big 55. So I feel like I'm granting her a gift for her birthday. So I'll be sending that to her. And that basically concludes our Love Talk for this week. I just want to say in closing, you know, as we go through this week ahead, and as I said, I know there's so much that's going on. There's so much that we're all dealing with, but really take the time to just, try and be conscious of what can we do to, to help, to be conscious, to help assist our planet. We can all do something, pray for the earth, send good energy. Like literally, you can just lay in, like a prayer or a meditation and just send conscious, focused thoughts on healing the planet. Because, again, everything is energy. Remember, God is always generating. So, focus some attention on healing the planet and let's all just do our part. So, next week, we will conclude our series on love and relationships. And I'm actually excited because we're actually going to finally talk about love in relationships. And I think really that's where we've been heading since the very first Love Talk segment. But, as I said, I like to lay a lot of the footwork and groundwork to get to that point. So next week, we will actually be talking about our relationships, love relationships. So I hope you all will join me. And as always, I wish you a beautiful, safe, healthy, happy week ahead, always full of love and happiness. And I'll see you next week. Take care.